Good afternoon. Today is May 26th, and today I'll continue to be talking about the coronavirus. So today I'd like to talk about coronavirus vaccines and the different types of vaccines that are being developed and how they work exactly to try to stop the virus. And as we know, a vaccine is extremely vital for us to reopen and continue life normally, because with the vaccine people can interact with each other. We won't have to social distancing or worry about wearing face masks because we can all be immune to it. And what essentially a vaccine's goal is a vaccine will try to stimulate an immune response from the body, so that next time when we see the real virus, the body can get rid of the virus quickly, and also it will stop the virus from transmitting to other people. The first type of vaccines, and is the most common vaccines, are called virus vaccines. So these vaccines contain inactivated or weakened forms of a virus that is not able to cause a disease, but when immune cells encounter them, the immune cells can stimulate a response and make antibodies. So making these vaccines would mean growing viruses and lots of them. And influenza vaccines are one type. They are typically grown in chicken eggs. The companies that are currently developing this type of coronavirus vaccines is Sinovac. The second type of vaccines are genetic vaccines, and one type of this is DNA vaccines. So instead of injecting the whole virus, they just deliver genetic instructions for building a viral protein. This protein can then stimulate the immune system to make antibodies and help mount other defenses against the coronavirus. So DNA vaccines the process is basically a circle of engineered DNA is delivered into the cells, and the cells read the viral gene, make a copy in a molecule called messenger RNA, and this mRNA will be used to assemble these viral proteins. So prototype DNA vaccines based on the spike protein has already protected monkeys from the coronavirus, and companies such as Inovio is developing these type of DNA vaccines. RNA vaccines are just basically some researchers want to skip the DNA part and just instead deliver just the messenger RNA right into the cells. The cells read the mRNA, produce the protein, which then provoke an immune response. So the biotech company Moderna has recently completed a small safety trial with 8 volunteers, and other companies including Pfizer, BioNTech, and CureVac are also trying to develop these mRNA vaccines. The next type of vaccines are viral vector vaccines, which are basically vaccines that use a virus to deliver these coronavirus genes into cells. So the first type of this is vaccines using adenoviruses. So viruses are very good at getting into cells by incorporating them into their host, into cells to become host to cells. And since the 1990s, researchers have been investigating how to use them to deliver genes into cells to immunize people against diseases. So to create a coronavirus vaccine, several teams have added the spike protein gene to a virus called an adenovirus, which then slips into cells and unloads the gene. Because the adenovirus is missing one of its own genes, it cannot replicate and is therefore safe. So basically, these virus goes into the body, enters a cell, dumps the coronavirus gene in, which will then stimulate an immune response by making a protein, and the virus itself will basically die off because it can't replicate. Companies like Johnson & Johnson, CanSino, and the University of Oxford are trying to develop these type of vaccines, and they have HIV and Ebola vaccines also all use an adenovirus. The The next type of vaccines are protein-based vaccines. Basically, vaccines that use a coronavirus protein or protein fragments. So before I talked about how using a DNA gene or a virus, they basically just produce proteins which can stimulate immune response. Some vaccines just directly inject proteins or contain pieces of viral proteins. So these proteins can't cause the disease because they're not actual viruses, but they can still simulate immune response similar to a DNA or mRNA vaccines. An example of this vaccine is the HPV vaccine, and Medicago, Doherty Institute, and other companies are also trying to make a coronavirus vaccines for these virus-like particle vaccines. The last type of vaccines are recombinant vaccines, or basically yeast or other cells can be engineered to carry a virus's gene and spew out viral proteins, which are then harvested and put into a vaccine. A coronavirus vaccine of this design would contain host spike proteins or small pieces of the protein, and this category includes some vaccines for shingles and hepatitis B. The company's Novavax also produces this kind of vaccine. That's it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.